Welcome back, everyone. It's the Bourbon Judge. We are back at it with another episode. So today we're going to dive into just 4 whiskeys that I'm really, I can't stop grabbing them. I just can't. But no, honestly, people reach out all the time like, Judge, give me some different either ideas or just different whiskeys that you can't, put down, bottles that you're currently loving, that, bottles that you always reach for and so forth. And honestly, I will say these 4 bottles, for me personally, when I think about that question, it changes, right? Because based off of the time of year, if it's like in the winter, I prefer a lot more cask strength. If it's summertime, it might be like lower proofs. So it really kind of depends on the weather, the time of the year. But these are honestly just 4 bottles that recently I can't stop putting down. I just, every day I go to grab one, grab the other. In a given night, I might grab 2. But these are truly 4 bottles that I can't put down. But I'm going to go ahead and explain a couple of things. Number 1, the reason why I'm enjoying these. But then also more important, I'll give you like the price points and just kind of give a little bit more info as well. Cool? All right. So these are not in order. I'm just giving you 4 right now that I personally cannot put down. And I've actually had to even go ahead and open up some of like the backup bottles of these 4 because I've already finished the other ones that I had originally. All right, let's go. Again, not in order. I'm just going to grab these 4 that they end up in my glass each night. They somehow, 1, 2, 3, 4, they end up in my glass. All right, number 1, coming in from a brand that I would say in the last probably like 5 years has done a really good job of they've changed their brand as a whole. They've had new releases. They've introduced like different like bottle shapes. They've just done a lot of really cool different things to kind of change it up from what they used to be. And I respect that by itself. Hence the reason why I went back out and bought another bottle of this. It's only a $35 whiskey. I think it's like 35 bucks, depending on where you're at. So it's affordable. It's good whiskey. I like it because it's something that like in a given night, I drink this as like probably my first pour of the night. But number 1, good old Jack Daniel's Triple Mash, bottled and bond, 100 proof. $35 bottle, just kind of depending on which store you get it from. You want to talk about affordable whiskey. You can find it in, most stores for the most part. This is a newer release in the last couple of years that Jack put out. And I'm honestly happy the fact that they've changed it up a little bit. For me, when I first got this, I thought it was pretty decent, but it's honestly grown over me a lot. And I will say for me, this is one where I really like the sweetness of it. It's a great starter whiskey, like for the night. If I'm building a flight, I should say, this is one that I definitely end up going to for sure. At 100 proof, $35, you honestly can't beat that from like truly being very budget friendly, but then also good as well. Doesn't break the bank. That's the number 1. All right, numero uno. Number 2, man. So for the Judge, I will say in the last probably 2 to 3 years, I've become more and more of a fan of rye whiskey. I obviously, of course, initially, and I always will be the Bourbon Judge. But as some people say, Judge is kind of looking like you're the rye judge in some ways. I truly am a fan of rye whiskeys. Honestly, I really am. This is actually my own barrel pick, but I fell in love with this brand even way before my own barrel pick. That's actually the reason why I fell in love with it, is because I love the whiskey. I had it a couple times at a bar, and I was like, I need to do a barrel pick of this whiskey. So number 2 is coming out of Indiana. Hard Truth. This is a sweet mash rye whiskey. This is a single barrel. Actually, I did a barrel pick with myself, Bourbon of the Week, and my good friends Andy and Todd over at 21090. So Chris, Andy, and Todd, we did a nice little collaboration pick. This one on the side here, we call it Connect 3. This is an amazing rye whiskey. It's 119.9 proof, so almost 120, but it sips like it's like 105. It goes down way too smooth. This is actually my second bottle of it, hence to show that I truly love this whiskey for sure. We are lucky though. I will say we do have a couple bottles left over at Share Pour, so I'll put the link in the bio of this episode. But this whiskey is so good, and it just flies under the radar because everyone is out there looking for all of like the big Buffalo Trace antique collection. I'm telling you, Hard Truth whiskey, especially the single barrel, this is an excellent bottle. All right, number 2. Before we get into number 3 and number 4, real quick, 3 quick easy favors. Number 1, hit the like button. Number 2, drop me a comment. Let me know what are some of the bottles that you keep reaching for and you just can't put down recently. And then last but not least, please make sure you also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you get notification each and every time I release new content. Cool? All right, here we go. Cheers. Woo! I'm sipping number 4. I'll get to that one in a little bit. All right. So what is number 3, Judge, and why? Number 3, when I think of number 3, I think of a couple things. I think of consistency. I think of it's a brand. When you think of just true Kentucky bourbon, it represents the brand. And it's just bottle after bottle, batch after batch. Doesn't matter if I get it, last year, 2 years ago, if I get it this year or even next year. It's always great quality whiskey. And no matter what, this is the bottle I will never stop buying. And now let me repeat that. This is a bottle I will never stop buying because it's just that good. Coming number 3, I love this bottle. I just finished my last one and I've already went through this one a little bit too quick. This is number 3. This is a Wild Turkey Rare Breed. I mean, you think of Wild Turkey, you think of the Russell's family. I mean, when you think of Wild Turkey and the Russell's family, that name, that brand is just such a strong representation of just excellent Kentucky bourbon. And I love that. I really, really love that. So for me, I can't stop buying Wild Turkey Rare Breed. It is just a staple in my house and probably many other houses out there as well. All right. That is our good friends over at Wild Turkey Rare Breed. So number 4. So this is the one that's, and all of these, by the way, are pretty much kind of affordable, right? $35-$40. I think these are mostly anywhere from, depending on where you get it from, anywhere from like $70 to $80, $90. Wild Turkey Rare Breed, a good $55-$60 bottle. So these are all very affordable for the most part. The last one, number 4. So this one definitely goes slightly up from a price standpoint. But what I love about this brand is, so I'm a big fan of finished whiskeys. No matter if it's a finished bourbon, a finished rye, I'm a big fan of finished whiskeys. I just think they can just be great, right? And this brand itself, they are known to source really good whiskey, older whiskey, age it a little bit longer, and then they will typically dump it into different barrels. Typically either like wine finishes, it could be wine, it could be rum, it could be a variety of different finishes to really enhance the flavor of the whiskey as a whole. So coming in number 4, which is what I'm sipping right now, this is one of the best releases that they put out, probably honestly in a long time. This is one of the best ones they ever put out, to be honest with you. Number 4, my good friends over at Foregate. This is Kelvin 60. So this was Kentucky Straight Bourbon, aged 8 years, barrel proof, that they then dumped into a second barrel. So it was essentially like a double oak. This Kelvin 60 is absolutely flat out one of the best bottles out there. Granted, a little bit more expensive. Obviously, Foregate's typically about $200-ish, if you will. But the quality of the whiskey that Foregate puts out, I'm telling you, they put out home run after home run after home run. They're taking great Kentucky bourbon and making it even better. Hence Kelvin 60. Very fortunate, actually. Fun enough, even later tonight, Sunday night, me and my good friends Josh and Aaron over at Stuff and Whiskey, we're actually doing a barrel pick of Foregate, and essentially for the most part, we are going to duplicate Kelvin 60. We're taking some Kentucky bourbon. It will then be double oaked, and it'll be a single barrel between myself and Stuff and Whiskey. So catch us on the live stream later tonight. Hey, until then, my friends, peace, cheers, and most important, salute. Take care. Woo! That is straight up insane good. That's Foregate.